alumni scholarship, which will be given at a later date. You don't have a check right now. Sorry, can't go out and spend it. You know, playing and coaching here means a lot to me, and anybody that's, you know, played for Pearl River and under me, and Coach Galvin knows that, you know, we take a lot of pride in it. So this kind of, you know, this scholarship, you know, it means a lot to me because, you know, I do care. This first person who I'm going to announce, I've known since he was asking me, why are you mowing the lawn? Why are you mowing the lawn? Well, clearly because the grass is long. Well, why is the grass long? And I know him since this big, and you know what, to turn into the player that he has is pretty amazing. Tough kid, strong kid, worked really hard. First scholarship for the alumni goes to Clee Davis.
All right, the second award goes to a player who wasn't really recognized too much for his special teams efforts, but never missed a snap punts. We asked him to do a lot of different and unique things, different positions. The thing I remember most about him is after the first half of our Harrison game when we were down in the dumps and didn't know who was going to show up in the second half. And Pat came out and ran a wildcat and picked up our spirits and basically was the team. And you know, I'll not forget that. Pat, come on.
Okay, next we have the Coaches Award. This award, again, is given annually by the staff to an athlete who best demonstrates throughout the season the true spirit of Pearl River football. It is an award in which the means justify the end. It is given not only for hard work and personal achievement, but for willingness to understand, to learn, to enter into a partnership with the coaches and teammates in an effort to recognize one's full potential. The recipient of this award has participated in the struggle each and every day of the season and loved almost every minute of it. His blue-collar, nose-to-the-grindstone attitude helped him earn this award. The recipient is reliable, intelligent, talented, all while leading his teammates on the field in more than an example. He was a comic presence at practice with his sense of humor. During games, he was a fiery linebacker, fullback, and tight end. This award is bestowed upon junior James Linnane. The Most Improved Player Award is awarded to a player who throughout the course of one season or over the course of multiple seasons on varsity has increased his abilities in the weight room, at practice, and during games, as well as in the off-season. This athlete worked hard to improve his abilities and make a significant contribution to the team as a starting player this year on offense and special teams, and occasionally on defense. He quietly put together a very nice season at split end. He was instrumental offensively in every game, even when he ran into a referee in Harrison. He went from getting rare spot time in 2011 to becoming a regular target of quarterback Chris Van Houten. He's a reliable player. We are proud to grant this award to senior Cleveland Davis. The Outstanding Offensive Back Award goes to a quarterback, a running back, or a receiver whose abilities exceeded all others. He may have earned the reputation of a game changer with one long completion, or with one dive for an extra foot on 3rd and short, or with one clutch catch. The entire attitude of the team can be uplifted, or the outcome of the game can change on our behalf. A lot was placed on this recipient's shoulders very quickly. Despite facing a great deal of pressure from media outlets such as MSG Varsity, he was the second leading passer in Rockland County, behind Suffern's Chris Gragnani. He was recognized by the Rockland County football coaches as an all-county player, and he was recognized by the Class A League I coaches as an all-league player for his play at quarterback. This award was earned by junior Christopher Van Houten. The Outstanding Defensive Back Award is presented to a traditional linebacker, a dog linebacker in our scheme, or a defensive back who earn the reputation of being a playmaker. A player who will not give up a single inch of yardage to an opponent. As defensive coordinator, there are a lot of things that Coach Harris places on his players when preparing for game days on Saturday or Friday night. The defensive backs are expected to be smart, yet aggressive, all the while being adaptable. This young man was singled out regularly for shutting down his side of the field on the pass and for his consistent gameplay. Going into every game, we knew that we could count on this defensive back to cover his side of the field like a blanket, which earned him all league and all county honorable mention honors. We are pleased to announce this year's recipient, Patrick Gannon. As you can tell from the speech earlier, Coach Joe Chiappa is not a man of many words, but when he talks, he makes it count. The words he used to describe the winner of this year's Offensive Lineman Award: smart, talented, and perhaps most importantly, consistent. That's all the stuff I can tell you in public anyway. With the spread offense, we use our guards quite frequently to pull and trap, pull and counter, and obviously pass and just base run block. This individual's consistency earned him all league honors and all county honors. The recipient of this year's award is senior guard and co-captain Joseph Scanlon. When we talk about our defensive linemen, a lot of people use a term from World War I to describe the battle between the O-line and the D-line as trench warfare. This particular D-lineman, and a winner of this year's award, treated every second in the trenches as if they would be his last. In a couple cases, they almost were. He played with controlled violence and never once shied away from a bigger lineman or a double team from a guard and center or tackle and tight end. He was the anchor of the defensive line, and at some point during the season, or at many points during the season, he rotated in at all three positions on the defensive line: left defensive tackle, nose tackle, right defensive tackle. He sacrificed his body and pressured and hurried the quarterback. He stalked and tackled running back after running back, week after week. He was the second leading tackler on the team, on the defensive line. The winner of Outstanding Defensive Lineman Award is junior Brian Kindraki. Our special teams MVP goes to a kick returner, a punt returner, a kicker, or a punter who sets up his offensive or defensive teammates for success, whether it comes in the form of a kick return deep into enemy territory or a perfectly placed punt that gets down inside the opponent's 5-yard line. In this case, our special teams MVP unfortunately got plenty of practice punting and not so much with PATs or kickoffs, but we promise that will change going forward. This year's MVP had a punt average of 39.6 yards per punt, which placed him 4th in all of Section 1. His kickoffs, while not touchbacks, regularly reached as deep as the 3-yard line. He has a lot of potential. He also had some big shoes to fill and faced a lot of pressure with those shoes to fill. This season's special teams MVP is Ronan Curry. Believe it or not, that's the most enthusiasm he's shown. The offensive MVP is given to a player who is a threat to score every time he touches the ball. He contributes to most of the offense by keeping drives going, by gaining first downs, by churning the legs and grinding it out. At times when he was handed the ball, his tenacity and his will kept drives going. Opposing coaches twice at league meetings, Dean Elgar from Rye and the Hen Hunt coach whose name I can't remember, sorry, made sure to tell me how frustrating it was trying to game plan for this athlete, because no matter where we put him in, he succeeded. He averaged 4.44 yards per carry and 9.69 yards per reception. Arguably, his most important plays came when starting quarterback Christopher Van Houten was injured when he was asked to play, with a 68% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, over 200 yards passing, and a quarterback rating of over 100. Our 2012 offensive MVP is junior Rob Gullo. The defensive most valuable player is awarded to the player whose leadership abilities and physical talents exceed all others on the defensive side of the ball. This athlete is clearly a soldier. You send him into battle, and you can trust him with the ability to stall a drive, make a game-changing play, or simply push his teammates to be better. He led the team in tackles. He led the team in sacks. He led the team in forced fumbles. He led the team in fumble recoveries. His play earned him all-league and all-county first-team honors. If there was a stat for heart, he would probably be at least tied for the team lead in that as well. Watching him stalk prey during the defensive series was like watching a hungry animal stalk its prey. Having him in our defensive huddle was like having another coach out there. This year's recipient is Kevin Considine. Our final award for the year is the Most Valuable Player Award. The MVP is presented annually to a member of the team, either offensively or defensively, or both, who has contributed to most of the success of the team. Without this player, our team would be dramatically different. He's a leader on the practice field, the playing field, the locker room, the classroom, and in the streets. This year's recipient invests so much in Pirate football physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually that Sundays are spent in recovery. As an athlete, he knows no greater satisfaction than when the team wins, and when he knows no greater pain than when we lose. When he's not on the field and he's on the sidelines, he's pushing his team to get better through his voice and through his actions. His contributions as a running back, a receiver, a quarterback, a linebacker, and special teams all-purpose player and a punt returner were invaluable. It is my privilege to award this year's Most Valuable Player on behalf of Coach Harris and Coach Chiappa to our all-county, all-league, and all-section player, Rob Gullo. Now, before we break for today, there's some other stuff that we need to give out. We want to give out a gift to all the players here. We'll get to that at the end, as well as Coach Kucinich and myself. We need to give out the pins as well as the letters to our players. But I just want to offer a couple words about the upcoming season in 2013. A lot of our guys are getting caught up in what class we're going to end up. We're right on the border between Class A and Class B. And we're caught up in that number of 600. 600 is the cutoff between the classes. And Nanuet conveniently is at $5.99, by the way. And we're at 608. So we're right on the border. But really, honestly, we really shouldn't be focusing on that. What we should be focusing on, and a lot of you in the audience are going to agree, is a return to the basics, getting back to the work. In using the term for Jimmy Linnane I described as blue collar, that's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to that blue collar off-season attitude of lifting and running and working hard and pushing each other. The days of lifting on our own are done. We have to win as a team and lose as a team. Our goal is to get bigger, faster, and stronger, and to never allow ourselves to face the injuries and the situations that we faced on in 2012. I am not putting that on the seniors. I don't want you to get that message. I'm putting that on myself as the head of the program. One of our presidents had a sign on his desk that read, "The buck stops here. The buck stops here with me." This year can be attributed to my taking time off and not putting putting enough pressure on our guys to get in and lift and run. And I promise you that will never happen again. I went through a lot of doubting myself and a lot of mental agony as my wonderful, supportive wife, who somehow still doesn't have any gray hair, wink, wink, can attest to. And I won't let that happen again. I care about the program too much. I care about the players too much. I even care about these guys a little, my coaches. Not so much, but enough. Accountability and personal responsibility in the weight room and the classroom is going to be common measuring sticks this offseason. I promise you vast improvements for every level of Pearl River football in 2013. With that in mind, I want to call up Eric Corcoran as we pass the torch from captain to captains. Eric was the first captain that was named for the 2012 season. It was done over in the Elks a year ago. At this time, we want to pass the torch to the next generation of Pirate varsity captains. Unlike in previous seasons, we have two deserving recipients of the title of captain. The first and second captains of the 2012 season, the 2013 season, are the embodiment of passion, drive, and dedication. They've already shown us this for 2 years. Their leadership abilities as juniors, and even as far back as sophomores, were called upon on multiple occasions. They are leaders on and off the field, and young men who have already established themselves as tremendous varsity athletes. On behalf of Coach Harrison, Coach Giappa, Coach O'Malley, Coach Lonergan, Coach Cini, and the missing Coach Joyce and Coach Putnick, we are proud to announce that Rob Gall and Kevin Considine will have the title of co-captains of the team. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I really appreciate you guys coming out. We're going to get working on the... Coach Corcoran is going to say something now. Coach, the rest of the captains as well.
As the first captain named of the 2012 season, I would first like to express my gratitude towards the parents and the men who gave up their time to coach us through this rough season. Nobody really expected the season to turn out the way it did, but it taught the people of the program with the ups to come to downs. I would like to express my gratitude towards Coach Mike, who has been a mentor and a friend of mine for the 3 seasons that he has coached me. Coach Mike told me one valuable lesson in the fact that you can't take anything for granted, and in the blink of an eye, it's all over. I'm grateful for the lessons that Coach Mike has taught me throughout the years and has helped me and my teammates transform from boys to men. While our season was curtailed by... While our season was curtailed by unpredictable weather, it also proved to us seniors that, as Coach Mike has drilled into our heads for the last 3 years, that you must learn to treasure your time in the program, because once you strap on the helmet for the first time, your time is slowly running out. So to those who are still playing, enjoy it. Thank you.
Coach Giappa tells you didn't suck too much during the game, you must have had a good game. That's what I learned from Coach Giappa, really. But honestly, Coach Giappa has taught me a lot about football and as a football player and a man. He was one of the few people on the team that never gave up hope when the odds were against us. He looked past what was happening. He never looked past what was happening right then and there. He showed me that even though I may not be as big as some of the other kids, if I play smarter than them, I can succeed. I learned a lot from Coach Giappa and all the coaches, and I'd like to thank them, the players, and the parents for a great season. Thank you very much.
First, I would like to thank all the parents for everything that Mrs. Curley, I'd like to point you out. You made my season. Give me a hug right after that game, despite of how sweaty I was. But thank you very much for all you guys have done. You guys really made the season great. Just want to thank you. And second, Coach Harris. At first, when you yelled at me as a JV player, I was like, "Who are you to tell me what to do?" But I just want to say thank you for what you've done this season. I mean, without you, I would have been in a whole other world after the jug. I mean, you turned my tears into just laughter. You really did make my season. So thank you for that. And after Harrison, I mean, you told me in 5 years, so we're just gonna look back at this game and laugh, just like you did with your Harrison game. And really, I just couldn't stop laughing, even though we were down like 42 points. So I really do want to thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you very much.
This season has not been what anyone expected. With all the injuries on the team and the problems that we faced throughout the season, we did our best, and I'm proud of our whole team for not giving up on the season. I'm also very grateful for all the hard work the coaches put in watching films and sacrificing their afternoons for us. The coaches never accepted mediocrity. They always expected our best, and I appreciate it. Over the past 4 years, the coaches have all taught me something important about life and football. And I think I speak on behalf of all the players when I say thanks to all the coaches for always pushing us to do our best and believing in us. Thank you.
Going off what Matt said, the coaches could have been with their families during the summer, could have been with them, not with us, but they gave up their time for us. Coach Mike, Coach Harris went to Florida with us, left their families at home. You know, that shows a lot. It meant a lot to us, and really, we really want to have a good year, but it wasn't what it was.